Masters have to pay attention to our range of motion as we age. Without it, we lose stroke length and raise injury risk.
Feel the grip of the oar handle, smooth yet firm in your hands. Taste the salt of your own sweat and the occasional splash of water. It's all part of the journey. Welcome to another episode of Faster Masters Rowing Radio. Each week, our host, Masters rowing coach Rebecca Caro, dives deep into the world of Masters rowing. Whether you're on the water or in the gym, join us to become a faster master. Let's go rowing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Faster Masters Rowing Radio. It's 2026, and we're going to kick off the year looking at range of motion. Now, this is quite an important part of Masters rowing because, as we've said many times before, Masters rowing is rowing with compromises. We know we're perhaps not as mobile as we used to be. We know we're carrying old injuries. We know there are things that we possibly could improve with a little bit of work, but what are they and how can we do it? Now, your full movement potential is the thing, the goal, the achievement that we're headed towards. It helps us in a couple of different ways. Firstly, our performance as rowers. If you have full range of movement, you can get longer rowing strokes, regardless of your height. So if you have tight glutes, if you have tight hamstrings, if your shoulders don't extend fully, these are all things that limit your movement potential. The second thing is injury prevention. I'm sure you've heard anecdotes about people saying, I just bent down to open the washing machine and I put my back out. So having a good range of motion helps you to prevent injuries if your range of motion is also supported by a really strong musculature. And the third thing is having functional capacity for the rowing movement. Any of you who are listening who are coaches will know that it's really challenging to teach rowing to people who can't get into the catch position, to people who can't sit with their legs straight at the finish while they are also leaning backwards, to people whose arms don't extend sufficient to get your oar handle around the arc that you want. And if you can't get into those movements, it's really challenging to teach someone how to row. But all is not lost. There are things that we can do. One of the things that I'm a particular fan of is active isolated stretching. Now, in the show notes, I'll put a link to the article that covers some of this detail, and you can find out a lot more about it online. But the important thing about this type of stretching compared with the traditional stretch, which is you get into an extended position and you hold it for a certain number of seconds. With active isolated stretching, clues in the name, you get a movement more of the time. So it's very short. You're doing it for maybe 2 to 5 seconds. And the way its principle is set up is that you have one muscle group which is working and the opposite muscle group is relaxing and lengthening. So the antagonist is the relaxing and lengthening muscle group and the agonist is working. So an example is to do a hamstring stretch, lying on your back, and you put an elastic band or a rope around your foot so that you can pull your foot up towards you with a straight leg, and you then straighten your leg and lower it back down to the floor again. And if anybody wants to see the video of this, it's on the URL on the screen, active-isolated-stretching-rowing on our website. Really nicely explained. There are a lot of good exercises that you can do with active isolated stretching that are relevant to the rowing stroke. Now, as we decline, of course, we start to lose our full movement potential, partly because our natural connective tissue elasticity reduces as we age. There's not much you can do about it, but you can strive to retain what you have. Our joint cartilage can reduce. If you know about runners, they'll often talk about how they haven't got much cartilage under their kneecap. It's been worn out through use. Particularly, I notice people like me who've been rowing all our lives are very different from people who've taken up athletic activity in later life. So their muscles haven't had quite so much use, and their cartilage and their connective tissues are as stronger than ours. The other thing, of course, is your muscle flexibility will tend to reduce as you age. And lastly, of course, if you've had previous injuries, you'll have scar tissue. And scar tissue is different from what we were born with. Now, there are a few things that you can do to help your range of motion. One is know what range of motion you actually have at the moment. So there is on our website a functional movement assessment. You can go and find it. It's free. You can download it, and it shows you 10 separate tests you can do on yourself. And then if you watch the video, you will get some exercises and stretches that you can do that will help you improve your range of motion. And these are very orientated towards rowing and sculling. Secondly, there's also a blog post called Adapting Rowing Rigging for Masters Physiology. And this sets out some simple and some slightly more complex adjustments that you can put in place that will help you to get into the positions that your coach is advocating for in the rowing stroke. And I'll put both of those links into the show notes after I finish this. So let's start off 2026 aiming for great range of motion. And secondly, thinking about what we can do in our teams with our friends to improve. If you've enjoyed this, please consider joining our newsletter, where there are 7,000 separate rowers who are part of our weekly updates. We'd love to have you along with us. Till next time.
We are part of the Rowing Chat Podcast Network. Please tell your fellow rowers about the show. If you've learned just one helpful thing from today's episode, please consider supporting the show for as little as $1 per month by visiting fastermastersrowing.com/podcast.